And so there's been a lot made about the Gen Z movement, and I've never really, because I'm a Gen Z, I've never really investigated the entirety of this movement. Some say it's backed by the Mau Mau residue, the children of the Mau Mau now coming to get their due, whatever. Outside of the protests, because Gen Z you're doing protests, right? We are doing protests. I haven't gone to any particular protest, so I guess I'm a sellout, okay? But this is the real. This is how you change society. Hii mambo ya tear gas, the akina Raila and all this, all of them, the politicians have been doing protests for years. It's enough for you now to die. No one's dying anymore. You want to change society, change policy. Kama Gen Z tumejitambua, why don't we change policy so that watoi wetu wache kunyolewa wakienda shule, wamefunzwa kuchukia nywele yao? Why don't we start doing that? Why don't we start saying the government needs to start treating African people, Kenyan people, like the way we are, and we should not be going by a white standard. If it's our school, mbona mtoi mzungu akiwa huku anyolewi, but mtoi wetu ananyolewa juu nywele yake ni chafu, haezi soma? Unaona, that is the residue of the slave system. So once Gen Z gets into that thing where you're taking power, policy, na si gava ati kuingia huko ati we should put our people during the elections. Fuck that. It's now. It's us beginning accepting our African state so that our children cannot be going by a white standard. Unaona, akifungua shule hivi ako na nywele yake afro ama ni dread na anasoma hivyo. That is true change. That is true change. Making protests, someone gets killed, mnaweka kwa gazeti, then people talk and whatever. That means nothing. Take our identity and watch how painful it is. That is how you kill the system. Take our identity. Start with that. Let us start with that. And waseme watoi children of black descent, the ancestors, the protege, the offspring of the kings that dwelled here and dwell again. We love their hair and we promote it. Akili ni nywele. Unanyolewa shule kipara, alafu modi anaenda kuambia akili ni nywele, but umenyolewa nywele ati ndio ukae poa, ndio usome nini? And you've already been hampered. The hair is a part of your brain, it is a part of your nervous system. Unaonanga mtoi mwingine hadi anapelekwa shule akienda kunyolewa mena analia. Demu mzima, a part of her femininity, umemnyoa nywele, umemkata nywele, umemnyamazisha. You have completely destroyed and demoralized her. That's why unafika hivi unaona wase wengi wanajichukia, because you were taught to hate yourself. So hadi yao mamodi, even the teachers you are looking at ukienda shule, they hate themselves. Huyo ni slave unaangalia hapo, anakwambia ati ni mode, ndio maana anataka kufanyia venye yeye alifanyiwa. We must end that. We must end that with policy making. You Gen Z as us, because it is me. If you want to change society, you change yourself. Start accepting yourself. Start accepting your black hair. Start accepting your black skin. If it's food, you really want to hurt the powers that be, go local. Stop buying all these fake foods in the supermarkets. Go to the real markets, the fresh markets. Take agriculture. Take back our clothes. Start wearing native clothes. It's a process, but you start. The mambo ya protest, man, mambo ya nini, yeah, that's cool, man. That's getting their attention. Once you get their attention, now it is policy. Now it is telling them your plan, your vision. This is what we want. We want to look like Kenya. We never want Kenya to look like Dubai, Nigeria, Hong Kong. Fuck all that, man. Who wants Kenya or Nairobi to look like any other country? Then we would lose our appeal. We would be like all those other ones. But we are unique. Africa is unique, and we must embrace our African nature, and that starts with our hair. Man, I've seen kids, man, wanaenda kunyolewa siku ya shule, man, they look like inmates. And you know the picture that I saw when I looked at them, I looked at our ancestors and I'm like, this is the exact same thing they were doing. But hawa wamedanganywa ati ni kukaa smart. Ati kukaa smart ni kunyoa nywele yako. So mtu anakuambia ati wewe ukai smart, enda unyoe. Because these are what? Slaves. I told you we never left the slave system. Most Africans are slave today, now, 21st century. They can have a phone, they can speak good English. They hate everything that is African because that is what they are taught. Remember, our ancestors were brutalized and beaten so that they would not pass that identity, that pride down to us. So what they passed down was that fear of, if I be myself, if I grow my hair, there's repercussions. We must reverse it. So that it is pride. So that mtoi wetu akiona nywele yake anajipenda. Kama ni dem, unanyoaje dem. That is so... Man, I used to feel for those chicks, man. Because it would hamper how they'd move. A woman's hair is really, really part of her identity. But you do that. Unacheki maboy, man. Mse alikuwa huku high, 2 months holiday, man, amemesha ka afro. They have a nice afro. But kesho ni shule, you start seeing this anxiety. Like, oh my God, I'm going back to prison. That's how we all felt. Why can't we change that? Why can't we change that so that even education becomes fun? Imagine if you could go to school with your hair. But then they'll say, sijui hair is African hair. There'll be too much lice. Sijui it will look unkept. Why don't you teach them how to keep it? And give them that challenge. But you see, you've already started putting burdens on their identity. You're like, black hair is hard to maintain. Yeah, if you want it to look like white hair, it will always be hard to maintain. But if you accept it as black hair and you treat it as black hair and you embrace it as black hair, there's no tiredness, because this is who I am. The gorilla doesn't be burdened by their own hair. The lion is never burdened by their own hair. If African hair requires more energy to maintain, then it is because as African people we have more energy because we get it from the sun. To maintain it, it balances itself out. So all those things are excuses so that you can continue hating themselves. I don't, and I know where me and mine stand. I love my hair. I love African hair. And as people begin to accept their hair, they accept what is African. They want African women. They want African culture, African language, African food. That is how you send the white man packing. That is how you send the white ideology packing. It is in accepting your identity first before you even go to fight. Don't go to fight the SGT. We want Kenya to be built 11 skyscrapers. What the fuck? Who needs more skyscrapers? Let Dubai do whatever they want to do. Let whichever country do what they want to do. Because remember, most of these super city countries that have this have no culture. They have no depth. They were created 20, 30 years ago. And then you're coming here, you want Kenya to look like a newborn baby. Nigga, we are an ancient country, an ancient city. Me, I don't want to look like any of those people, you see. But that is because I've accepted my identity. I've accepted our fingerprint on the universe. So hiyo ndio change. Change ni policy. History ya wasee kwenda kwa streets kukufa. You ain't catching me there, because most of those people will not be mentioned 10, 20 years ago. What will be mentioned is that the Gen Z movement woke up and they took their identity. Tukasema watoe wanyoe, wanaweza nyolea kama wanataka, but si requirement. Si requirement mtoi kwenda shule ananyolewa nywele, anakaa mfungwa, anasikia baridi, time ya baridi, ametetemeka tu hapo, ana associate learning na uchungu. Ana associate learning na being robbed of your identity. So hadi wasiwe kutoka shule watakangi kulearn. Juu anakumbuka last time wakilearn ni kupigwa, kunyolewa nywele, kuvaa, all of you mnavaa the same uniform. No, all your uniqueness, it's been destroyed. unaona, because you want to fit into this system. That is the real change. Policy change and identity change, when we accept ourselves. When we now, it's coming, man. It's coming. Jump on there's the great mother is awake. Her children will be in their true state.